Are we live?
We're live.
Are we live?
We are live. Live 24/7.
We are?
Oh my God!
24/7,
Finally.
24/7, yeah. We're always here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm not.
Huh.
There are a few moments where I'm not here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last podcast of May 2021.
May. Can you
Is
believe
really?
it?
Hell
Ooh,
yeah.
my anniversary
No, there's a Tuesday next
is
week.
coming up.
And that's the first.
No.
Wow, that was abrupt.
Yeah, Monday's the 31st.
Oh, you're correct. It is the 31st on Monday. You're right.
Damn, man.
Yeah, June is like, damn, this year's
next week.
flying.
It is.
Lying.
We're almost halfway through.
We're old. That's the way it is. My dad said that. He's like,
Time flies.
Every year that passes, it goes faster, faster, faster.
I think because
faster,
you don't
faster,
have the
faster.
breaks like you did when you were a kid. I think that's one factor.
Yeah.
Well, I also think it's because when we're a kid, we get to do whatever we want. We don't have to be here. We don't have
Yeah.
to be there.
Time
When
goes
we're-
slower when
we're
it's on
adults,
your
we have
schedule.
the same job, doing the same thing. Every day blends into the next
Rinse,
day.
repeat.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day for old people.
It is.
I like
And-
Groundhog
and
Day.
Austin's about to experience that.
And
All our kids are.
I know. Crazy.
Yeah, producer graduated.
I know.
Congratulations, Mr. Producer, for your graduation.
Yeah.
How was
Very
the
nice.
ceremony?
Well, it was indoors, which I didn't know. In fact, I feel kind of stupid because I was a little seasoned during your birthday party this past weekend, and I was speaking to somebody's wife, Randy's wife, I believe, and I was just like, "Yeah, I need to bring an umbrella in case it rains, and if it doesn't rain, at least I'll have it for the sun." And she was just like, "It's going to be at the Star Center," and it didn't register when she said that.
Oh, my God.
I was thinking the soccer field.
So you're sitting at the Star Center with your umbrella up.
No.
I believe it. I believe it right now. I believe it.
No, but the point I'm saying
You
is
probably cornstarched the crotch and the whole 9 yards.
I didn't
in
understand what she
preparation.
didn't
He
understand.
did.
That was what the deal is. I was kind of like, I don't understand why you're not getting this because they graduated from the soccer field last year. What
They
is
did.
that stadium called?
And we
It's
were under
Toyota.
umbrellas.
Toyota
Toyota
Stadium.
Stadium now.
Yeah, we were under umbrellas.
Yeah, it
well,
was hot.
It was effing hot.
A
Yeah.
little toasty.
So I thought that's where we were going the whole time, and then finally, Tara was like, "No, it's enclosed. It's at the Star Center, you idiot."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh," and then you know how you get those O's, and you're like, "Oh, that's why." Oh, and then you just like a total idiot.
And that conversation made sense, right?
Yeah, and then
Sad.
I understand why,
Did they have any musical acts or anything? Bon Jovi or the band?
So they had some pre-recorded stuff. So the Victorian, I don't know their names, but they were up. Everything was pre-recorded, which was kind of cool. Made things a lot more simple. They didn't go out of line or anything.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's a hot opinion. I could do without the valedictorian speech.
Well, you know what?
You can name the person and say they are the top, and here's the second top, salutatorian or whatever they are. But I'm not interested.
Yeah, I get it. And you know what? Then there's also a guest person that comes and gives his inspiration.
And that didn't happen.
Her inspirational remarks. You know what's interesting? So my oldest son graduated from Arkansas, and we were in the Arkansas basketball arena. Same type of deal. And so here's the dude, the dean of whatever, right? He's up there talking the whole time, introducing everybody on the stage, having some words for the blah, 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 for the graduates. And then he says, we're due to COVID, we don't have a speaker today. So we're going to do a montage of inspirational quotes from former speakers. And so they play this video.
Of Trey Gowdy.
No.
Oh,
Of just, all these different people from all these different years saying, like, snippets, right? And I'm thinking, you're up there talking the whole time?
Well, that's what I don't get. I mean, this person's up there by themselves,
Talking the whole time.
fairly distanced, and they could bring their own microphone condom, go up there, change it, boom, pull it off when you're done.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm getting tired of being in situations where I'm like, oh, really? Oh, that, about COVID. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get,
I think more and more of this that's coming out with the COVID, with the Fauci.
oh, dude, they're making like major about faces on stuff.
man,
And now they're saying,
I don't know what news is right about Fauci. They're saying that this is all a farce
yeah,
and that this was a this was not as far. They're saying this was a planned attack.
Yeah.
They're saying we're going to take
Well, they
Trump
haven't-
out.
So the mainstream media hasn't gone that far. They haven't made that connection yet, which we made day one, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. We were
Oh, yeah.
talking about this in the podcast.
Yeah, this
I
is the
was
reason.
saying-
This is how they're going to get Trump out of office.
Yes, I was saying this was, I think, potentially a deliberate attack by China, right? Anyway, so the mainstream media is now going full circle back to, oh, we think it was accidentally released from the Wuhan lab,
Oh, yeah.
which we were like, oh, really? There's a level 4 virology lab in Wuhan? That's weird. It started right there, but in a little market nearby. Really?
Right.
I mean, the whole thing's so full of shit.
Yeah, because
And now
all they really have to do is there were folks in the lab
Yeah.
that got ill, violently ill,
Yeah.
and they got hospitalized.
Before any
the-
of this happened.
But back in like October,
Like in 2019. No, it's 2019, wasn't it?
It would have
Yeah,
been.
so it was at 29. Yeah, you're right. Gosh, we lost 2020.
back in October.
So it was October of 2019.
well, even earlier.
well,
Well, I think it finally
my
got
point is-
officially saying that COVID's out there in November, right, of
Yeah.
2019?
Yeah.
there were folks that came down with it first,
From the lab.
and in the lab that got sick in the lab, and China refuses to cooperate with the World Health Organization
Of course.
and release the records of those folks that worked in the lab. So it's like, hey man, where are those folks at? They're right here. Release their records so we can see if they have antibodies and we can date them.
Right.
And they won't. They won't.
Of course not.
They won't give that information. Why?
Because it was.
It's fucking crooked.
One of two things.
The
A
World Health
deliberate-
Organization is a bunch of crooked sons of bitches,
Oh,
are what they are.
Totally, and they're paid off by China. Totally, 100%. I mean, it's just like a lot of our
They're
politicians.
paid off by the United States of America.
That's where they- that's where
$500
they get
million
most of- that's where they get
is what
most of
we
the
give
money.
to them.
But they're also getting paid under the table, I'm sure, by
Oh, I'm sure.
China.
But tell you
Yeah.
what, when the World Health Organization came out and they did what they did, and they gave out false information trying to protect China, Donald J. Trump, Mr. President,
Drop their ass.
fucking body slammed them.
Yeah,
It's
because
like, we're
he-
pulling all of our money out.
Dude,
Fuck
he-
you.
He had intelligence the whole time, and he's acting on it, man. I mean, he's got
And
the
it's
balls to do
exactly
it
what he said from the get-go.
from the get-go.
He was like, hey, man, this is where it came from, and suck it. And everyone beat him up over it.
They did.
Hey, you're racist against bats.
Yep.
Against meat
The
markets.
Wuhan bat.
Wet,
Don't get
wet,
the fuck
wet,
outta
Wet
here.
markets.
Yeah,
That's
whatever.
racist. Where they're like hanging wombats and stuff.
So crazy.
Mm.
Anyway, what are we drinking tonight?
Well, hold on. I heard they serve penguin.
Penguin?
Penguin. Where are they getting penguin from? in
Penguin.
China?
Do they serve penguin in wet?
No, it's shit they pull out of the jungle in the caves.
I have no
I don't
idea.
believe they like
so what?
import.
What is that called? A
penguins.
wet?
Wet market.
A wet market. So I thought that was like sea.
No.
No.
So they don't serve penguin in wet markets.
No. Well, could
Maybe
they?
in,
Maybe.
in Antarctica.
Can you eat penguin?
It's a bird.
You can eat anything.
You can eat anything.
Well, I know, but is it? I mean,
We eat spam,
So,
for God's sake.
so look up.
is
the,
it illegal to eat penguin? Is it like a gamey kind of bird?
I don't think it's illegal to really to eat.
I mean, because
Not
you can
eat
imagine
anything.
those big ass black imperial.
It's probably a lot of fat.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
they
the Wagyu steak has a lot of fat. Look how much that shit goes
Yeah,
for.
but I
Yeah, but
mean,
The
layers
Wagyu
and
fat is
layers of
different than
fat.
like I'm half fat, so I don't get
I
cold.
I don't know. I mean, is polar bear meat good?
So a wet market. There you go. That's where they have just like shit hanging
Random
on hooks.
stuff.
Yeah. Take it, cook it, hurry up
I
before
just-
it goes bad.
I just killed. I just killed a sloth.
Gross.
I just killed a sloth, skinned
What's the
it, and hung it up.
process? They got some stuff that I'm not used to seeing in real life, you know.
Well, that's the whole point.
It's all kinds of meat, whatever they
But
can
do
get.
they?
That's why they're saying bats
So-
and weird shit.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Oh, I'm just wondering, can you
Platypus.
eat penguin?
Yeah, platypus. You'll see a lot of that in China. Wow.
All right, hold on. I'm looking it up here. Can you
Oh,
eat
you're
penguin?
looking up, can you eat penguins?
Yeah, so penguins, long considered to be inedible
Legally,
by
you
even the
cannot.
most hardiest of sailors, have recently discovered to taste a lot like veal if you cook it long enough. So imagine if you sous vide a penguin, it
Shut
would
up.
break down the proteins good enough so that you could enjoy.
Well, we're
a
not
nice,
going to let you do
soft,
it because
tender.
it's illegal. Because the
Is it?
Antarctic Treaty of 1959 restricts anybody from killing and eating penguins.
The fuck
so that's
out of
the
here.
Antarctic Treaty.
Why?
Are there penguins
we're
up
not in
north
Antarctica.
in the
There's
Arctic?
a lot in Prosper.
Penguins
that
are
are
fish.
natural.
They're mammals. They're
What if I have a
amphibians.
farm? What if I have a farm of a
They
bunch
live
of
in water,
penguins?
No, they're just naturally occurring.
on
out there.
land, or both. Penguins are birds.
It says eating too many could lead to mercury toxicity because they're eating fish.
That's why I don't eat penguin.
And if you did choose to eat a penguin or its eggs, they would generally taste quite fishy,
Gross.
Like salmon?
No, like sardines.
like
Well,
crust.
like salmon eggs. Have you ever smelled salmon eggs?
No.
Like
You've ever
roe?
gone fishing and you get the little thing of salmon eggs and
Oh yeah, the little red red
well,
balls.
they're various colors, but
Oh,
Typically red.
thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's always contrarian.
Yeah.
Whatever I say, he wants to say the opposite.
you know, I recall going through the fish store and they had these vials of eggs that you would use for bait. And
Yeah.
I just remember there was
and you're putting it on
a,
hooks.
a rainbow of different colors. You know,
Ah.
blue, green,
It could be sturgeon.
yellow. Could be.
Sturgeon,
Could
Yeah.
be sturgeon.
northern pike,
Or gar.
Be like fish egg. What is it called? Fish egg bait.
eel,
Or
Fish egg bait.
arapaima.
eel,
Eel.
eel eggs.
I've never. See, look at it. There's all
No.
kinds of colors.
Well, you're
It's
right.
Well, I
green.
think those are
But look-
falsely colored.
They are.
Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter if they. You know, when I went to the store, look at this UV glow. Of course, it's gonna be falsely colored.
Balls of fire.
Oh, God!
wonder
Have you
if-
ever had that?
It's called bull
I have
balls.
not.
It's called ball chafe.
The only time I've ever had balls of fire is when I actually grazed my nutsack with a handful of Bengay.
Or someone punches it
That doesn't
or
sound like fun.
flicks it.
Ooh, I got what is that? Aspercream? No. What is the?
Yeah, that's right. Aspercream.
I have aspartame for my shoulder, but it doesn't have the menthol.
No,
stuff
it's
in
not
it.
the. It was something that came in a
Icy
bottle.
hot.
It was. Oh my God, what was it called? Fuck it, whatever. I got some of that on my balls once too. Whoa,
KY.
wow. No, was not KY.
Yeah, but you've gotten lots
Actually,
of
I
that
may
on.
have lots of KY on there.
Yeah, you have some on there now, probably.
Nah,
For easy insertion.
no.
Wow.
Good God,
How
man.
vivid.
Who hurt you?
Seriously, very vivid.
You're the one talking about that. Not
Your
me.
summer camps are very different from mine.
Yeah, no shit.
That one time in band camp, right?
Is that where
Wow.
they had the fish eggs? All right. Anyway, so the fish eggs, Wuhan
Yes.
market. Yes, we get it. So
That's one thing I would like to try is caviar. Have you tried?
I've
tried
tried caviar.
I've
I
never
was
had,
at the Four Seasons and I had caviar.
I've
there.
never
It's
had it.
fantastic.
It's salty, isn't it?
Tastes like a fish egg. Yeah, salty.
Oh, it tastes like a fish egg. That's
Hey,
what it's
you know what the
telling
thing about caviar is that
Mm.
it pops in your mouth.
So like
Gross.
explodes.
Yeah,
With
it's
juice.
kind of like
Oh, that's disgusting.
like very.
Well, how do you know? It could be delicious.
I mean, just the thought of having a fish egg in my mouth and then I squeeze it against the roof of my mouth and it pops.
So if
Oh.
we said, "Hey, these are new little
What,
like,
what is that iced tea drink that you get where there's a bunch
Boba
of
tea?
Yeah, the bubble tea.
it has the boba tea. I think
Boba
that's,
tea.
That's
That's kind of similar.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
tapioca,
the
isn't it?
floating,
Yeah, well,
floating
yeah,
balls.
but the typical one does
Still
have
gross.
tapioca, but they've gone further. Now they encapsulate some sort of fruit juice or something, and so you get a drink full of these little floating bubble gels filled with fruity
Whatever.
flavors, and
filled with vodka.
that's
Ooh.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
I like where this is going.
So like adult boba
Can you imagine
teas.
that? Bourbon balls?
Uh,
Come on.
I
in a
believe
gla-
we're gonna
in a-
have
in a-
that.
In
I
a
had-
glass of
I had
Coke.
bourbon balls.
We're gonna
Sunday
have
when
that.
I woke up.
We're gonna have that after we finish tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
We still haven't even talked about our bourbon.
No, I'm interested. I've never been interested in the boba tea because I think it looks disgusting for one thing.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. There was one time I went to market and with my daughter, and we got one of those little bubble thing drinks,
Right.
and we were drinking it. It was the typical tapioca one, and I was like, and all of a sudden I take it. The straw grabs a few of them as a, and it goes into my, and it went down my windpipe.
Oh, really?
And the first like 5 minutes of me being in the store, it was like crazy. You know, I couldn't breathe. I was coughing, and then all of a sudden, I coughed just right, and I launched this fucking
Oh,
black
no.
tapioca pellet.
Oh no!
And I remember it hit the little box sitting in the aisle because it's a market for the Asian foods. You know, I was like,
Right.
I just remember that. That was my
Did it
first
stick?
No, it hit it, and Madeline and I both looked at each other, and it bounced and hit the floor. We're just like, all right, that
Yeah,
just happened.
Time to
Time
move
to
on.
go.
And I was like,
Yeah.
just keep walking.
Yeah.
Don't even look back.
Paul keeps hinting at the bourbon. I know he really enjoyed it because we're all done with it. So we all enjoyed it. So tonight's bourbon,
It was so hot.
it is Balcones Rumble Cask Reserve
What is-
Single Barrel.
What does balcones mean?
Balcones.
No, don't say that.
It's balcones.
Balcons.
Oh, balcone.
Balcones.
It's like I know what balcones are, but this balcones.
Is it a last name? Maybe I'm not sure. But anyway, Balcones Rumble Cask Reserve Single Barrel. So this has set the new bar. So our goal is to find something at least this percentage. From
When you
here on
say
out.
set the
now
bar,
on,
you're
yeah.
referring to the proof.
Proof. So this is
100.
138 proof,
Wow.
Right.
69%.
Yes.
It is spicy.
There you go. Look at that.
It's
It is-
unbelievable.
Yeah, it is incredibly
It's actually
spicy.
not spicy. It is
Well, spicy, I
just-
mean hot.
The
just
only
crazy hot.
the only negative thing I could say about it right now is it was so God bless and strong. It was difficult to imagine. I mean, to manage more than a very
Little sip.
small sip.
Yeah.
But the small sips are really tasty.
Yes.
Very tasty.
Yeah,
This-
they are.
And
Highly recommended, by the way.
this is not a bourbon, by the way.
Ah, okay.
This is a Texas wildflower honey, turbinado sugar, and mission fig spirit.
Mission Fig.
Spirit. So it's a
Right.
spirit.
I don't know.
It is not a bourbon.
Look at all that. The nose is just a kaleidoscope of flavors. Honey, spice box, blueberry, compote. What does that mean?
Compote.
Compote.
It's just like a jelly type thing.
Jelly.
Not
They
exactly.
listed a
jelly.
lot of things in the nose.
It's really chunky. It's that right there.
Yeah, there we go. It's yeah.
I think it's just blueberries.
Stuff you'd find on a
and sugar.
crate.
It's a fruit. It's a fruit.
Well, it is, but it's a certain. You cook it, and I think it's just
Shit
basically
you would
sugar.
find on a crepe.
Pretty much.
Just close the fucking
Yes.
thing. All right,
So here's the press release. Defying categorization both in its composition and its reception, Rumble is a curious twist on spirit styles from around the world. Do you agree with that?
the
Well, I just can't get over like they list 10 things in the nose and another 9 things in the taste. There's nothing but heat.
Well, this
yeah,
this
that's what I'm saying. The finish needs to
Yeah,
be like
whatever.
headshot,
Yeah, it's nothing but heat.
yeah. So the nose here it
Headshot.
is: honey,
kill streak,
fruit cocktail, honeysuckle, soft leather, floral musk,
soft leather.
Okay,
We're back
what
in the leather.
okay,
What's
you know,
going
I've
on?
had enough. You know what?
hint of mint.
Time out. We've
Oh,
mocked.
What was the leather last
yeah,
week?
Yeah. We've mocked.
It said
It was
leather
old
oil.
leather, or
Old-
leather oil, or something
le-
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've mocked these things before, where it's getting out of control. Soft leather.
Soft leather instead of hard leather, I guess.
Okay, come on.
So anyway, hint of mint,
Where do we draw the line with this bullshit?
tea
Right?
tree oil, cinnamon, red hots, some unripe stone fruit.
Oh,
Well, I could see
oh, yeah,
where
no, that one.
I
rings a
have-
bell with me.
I've used certain types of oil, like linseed oil, with like certain like walnut, for example. We'd have like large sticks of walnut. I mean, when I say large, like a 2x6, like 8 foot long, and they're totally curled. And you use like a very strong linseed oil. I can smell the oil. So when I can smell that walnut, and I can smell the oil. So I know where that would come from. But
I think it's
leather
just a-
oil.
Soft leather.
Well, this is soft leather. So leather has a
Soft leather,
smell.
what-
So I mean,
Does it smell like this? The
especially
bottom
you-
of somebody's purse?
well, especially you, Jeff. I would expect you to know what soft leather smells like.
Ooh, slap your ass, you blue-eyed plumber.
Yeah,
What?
I really would expect you to know that smell for some reason. I
A
don't know
soft
why.
leather.
Soft leather.
I did have a soft leather sofa. It
Yeah.
was nice and supple.
Did you leave a Puccinese snail trail on that?
I did. So the
What?
taste: light fruit cocktail, subtle leather,
You could have stopped
Oh,
at cock.
subtle leather. That's the one I was thinking of.
dried fig or plum, honey, mild rosemary, sweet tea, mint, oak, kiwi, rye, grapefruit, and slight
See,
anise.
stop.
Yeah,
Nothing can.
it's
You
a
ca-
fucking buffet. I
yeah,
mean, what's
you get all
nothing,
that?
nothing can smell like that. Nothing can taste like that. So they need to stop.
And then the
This is good. Chai. It's strong, though. Be careful.
It burn a hole in your colon.
finish. That's just the
hell?
taste.
That's all they need to say.
So the
I would
fi-
give
This
you
shit burn
a
a hole in your
hemorrhoid.
colon.
yeah. So the finish: Medium lingering finish, hint of spice, honey, and leather spice fade into minty evaporation.
No, it doesn't.
All right, let's move on. This is
So dumb.
This is
no,
distilled.
it's not, but it is. But at
It's
the
so
same time,
dumb.
it's funny. We need
This
to
is-
explain it, but
This is very wine snobbish when you get to this level.
it tastes good.
Yeah, but it's bullshit. Is what I'm saying.
I would feel comfortable, and I'm going to go on a limb, and I would say this is at least it's almost as good as Noah's Mill, minus the heat.
That's what I mean. We need to cube it.
It's
All right. Well, let's do that right now.
I'm thinking we need to just maybe
I think the power of it
yeah
is we need to chill on it.
let's just finish this beer, get through the first half.
Wow. I've never seen you guys back away from a dangerous situation so quickly.
Well, I've never done crack, but if I were to, I know what's good and what's bad.
So 69%, it's pretty
God.
hearty.
It's like it's a ticking landmine or
Well,
something.
Well, we were talking last week.
dude, it was in the glass for 15 minutes
I
before
know.
we sipped it,
I
and it
know.
was thermonuclear. It
Yeah,
was.
It was.
I have.
It was.
I have hair in my nose. Jeff has stalks, and it freaking unearthed a few.
They melted.
They just fell in the glass,
that.
and
They didn't burn. They melted. And like,
All right. So
anyway,
that's-
good. I
that's
recommend
the
it.
whiskey of the evening.
I recommend it. Just
Yeah,
be
me too.
aware of the proof.
yeah, it's good to have on the shelf. And if you want, it's not a bourbon. I don't know what the fuck you called it, but it's a whiskey.
It's a spirit.
It's
Well,
a-
it's a whiskey. Yeah.
It's a whiskey.
They don't even say whiskey on there. They say it's a spirit.
Yeah, it's a single barrel. Excuse me. It's a great one to sit out and just chill. Just be careful
That's
because
definitely not one when you have guests over.
No.
Oh, would
Let's
you
do
like
shots.
no. Oh
No,
my God.
no.
You want to kill your guests?
no, this is one where
you want
you're
them to spontaneously
you
combust?
got you're by the backyard. Hold on a second, Mr. Producer.
He's blowing his nose.
How you doing over there?
He's having a crisis.
Everything all right?
I think a little snot.
All right, got a little snot
Nice.
nut boogie boogie bugle boy from Company B over there.
Wow.
You know who sang that?
Some chicks.
Christina Aguilera.
No, it's the book. Actually, I think she sang a.
She did.
She did not sing that. No, it was
Yeah,
the
she did.
Andrews sisters back in
No,
the 40s.
I know that. I'm
Yeah.
no, you
saying
didn't.
she remade that.
Did she? We're gonna have
No,
to fact
she
check
did
that.
not.
Stand
Yeah,
by.
she did. Christina Aguilera. She
No,
did.
she did not.
How do you?
All
know, why are you so definitive about this?
Because I have not heard it.
He is
She
the
remade it.
authority on
great.
Christy Aguilar. Okay,
The
She
Bugle
really
Boy,
did.
the Andrews sisters,
Yeah. It's fantastic too.
the Bugle Boys.
By
By,
the company B. I know what you're talking about. I ain't stupid.
Well, it's three sisters harmonizing.
she did. It was Christine Aguilera and the Andrews sisters. The
Yeah.
Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. The Boogie Woogie Candyman is basically
Yeah,
what
I
it
ain't
was.
stupid.
Are those trainees?
What the fuck is going on
I
over
don't
there?
know. That's kind of scary.
Those are.
What is that?
Those weren't. Those were truly Bugle Boys.
So no, she did a homage to the Andrews sisters. I'm sure that song was in it.
Well, God, that is.
They were
horrible-
awesome though.
Yeah, but what? Did you see the picture with Christine Aguilar?
Yeah, but that wasn't real.
That.
What do you mean it wasn't real?
I don't know. I don't think that was a real picture. I don't know what that was.
All right, well, type in
That's
type in
That was
Kristen
terrifying.
Aguilera and Andrew sisters. Christina
With a C.
is a CH.
It looked very
Christina.
transgender.
what do they call
Aguilear.
the guys who dress up like the women and perform? What do they call those?
They're
Now type in after that
oh, God,
Anderson sisters.
really?
Andrews sisters
Yeah, what is that? It's a certain.
and video.
There's bars. They go up there and perform and
Yeah,
everything.
they're
What the
called
fuck
dress-
is that?
First one.
Cross dressers, but
Cross dressers.
First one.
What is it called, Sean? You know what the name of it is?
What?
They're guys that dress up like women and and they're cross dressers, but they're called. Oh,
Are those
wow.
those shows they put on?
Yeah.
yes,
Oh.
drag
Drag queens.
Drag racers.
That's
drag
right.
queens?
drag queens. That's right.
Yeah, that sounds
Drag queen.
popular with some folks. I mean, it never really. All right, so this is
Oh, here it is.
Oh,
the
it's got a
Andrews
little bass.
sisters and Christina Aguilera.
See, there's Christina Aguilera.
All right.
See, I was right.
But they're both singing. It's like there's six people singing.
No, this one looks like they mashed them.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's what this is.
And that picture we saw earlier is not that. I like the song actually.
Oh, it's a great song.
It is popular. I mean, actually, the movie on the right, that was on a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Andrews Sisters.
What a great memory to have. What a great moment in time
Oh, yeah.
to capture, because this was like World War One. This
No,
was
two.
World War II,
Yeah.
and that was a sign of the times. The women, oh yeah, that's right. We had a shortage of medals, and the women had to step up, and they did,
Yeah, that's so cool.
and they had such great. That was back when dancing was cool.
Doing the Charleston.
Yeah,
now you have Hoochie Mama on the left.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But the thing about the Hoochie Mamas that they have nowadays, which are embarrassing, like the music awards over the last
Oh, you're
couple
talking
years.
about Cardi B?
Man, I don't know. Yeah, probably. Just all the phallic, just just
It's
some
disgusting.
gut rot sex stuff. I mean, look, I'm all about sex and I'm all about passion, but there's a right way to express yourself and an inappropriate way to express yourself. And, there's a time and place for everything, and I don't believe it should be on the public broadcasting systems, period.
I agree.
Should be on our airwaves.
Well, especially when the young kids,
What are you trying to
are
program?
emulating it.
Yeah, they are.
And they see him at the Grammys, and she's like thrusting and scissoring
Oh, I need to be
and all
that.
kinds
That's
of
what
stuff.
I want to be.
I want to scissor with
You and your
the
sister.
dragon lady or whatever
And
the hell
next
the
thing you know-
stallion lady.
The next thing you know, they're running around wearing spandex and getting a stamp tramp.
Tramp stamp.
What'd I say?
Stamp tramp.
Dyslexia. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Like a
brain de-
dyslexia of the
It's just
tongue?
It's a
brain.
brain deficiency.
We all do it.
Shut up, producer.
Oh, see, this one had
Thanks.
had ginger snaps in the
You need to blow your
in the
nose.
taste. Did you get ginger snaps out of that?
No, I got heat.
Yeah, really. It was look again. This was the Balcones Rumble was really good, but it was so strong.
Yeah,
It
it kind of
you-
overpowered everything.
it needs to be respected, and if you don't respect it, it's not gonna respect you.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I think you're right. The next glass on this needs to be a cube or two, and I think it'd be fine.
Oh yeah, I think so. Because when I put the water in it, it helped a lot.
Yeah,
Helped a lot.
I got you. All right. So what else do we have going on in nowadays events?
Oh well, there's all kinds of things going on.
We heard about the John Cena thing, where he kind of made a fool of himself.
Yeah, you gotta wonder
So-
who he's in bed with.
Well,
And-
it's like, why do you need to apologize for that?
Yeah. Okay. So a little background. All right. So he was doing some interviews for the new Fast and Furious movie, and in one of those interviews, he referenced Taiwan as a country, and of course, China claims Taiwan is one of its whatever colonies, provinces, whatever you want to call it, and
It's a territory.
territory, and they don't recognize their independence as an independent nation.
Well, China doesn't, but doesn't
Yeah,
most
the
of
rest
the
of the
rest of the world
I-
does?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't
Maybe
know.
maybe they don't because they don't want to cross China. But so he ended up saying that it was a country, and then he apologized profusely, and then he even went on and did a video in Chinese
on the
basically
Chinese version of Instagram or Twitter or something like that.
basically apologizing, and it makes us wonder why so passionate about such a weird apology.
Well,
Right?
and the apology was done in Chinese, which I give him props for that, for being able to speak fluent China.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, I know, but why? And he's
And
And
why
he-
do you look so scared doing it?
I don't know if he looks scared, but I mean that just tells you that. Okay, hold on. You remember the NBA?
Was he wearing an orange jumpsuit?
You remember when Daryl Morey of the Rockets, the general manager for the
Oh, yeah.
Rockets?
yeah,
Yeah. So he defended the people of Taiwan.
it was Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong,
Right.
but that's a similar situation, right? Where China, it's owned by China or whatever, and they keep their hands off for the most part because they like the economic, engine that it is.
Well, Hong Kong got handed over from the British to
Correct.
the Chinese back in what, 5, 6, 10 years ago or so?
Correct, but they're still, they still brutalize them whenever. Anyway, so Daryl Morey came out and kind of said a controversial tweet, and shit blew up, right? And then China canceled all sorts of exhibition games, and they canceled this and that, and the NBA took like a $1 billion hit.
And LeBron came out and said China's great.
Yeah, exactly right.
Kind of paraphrasing there.
Yeah,
but,
he tried to mend all that.
right.
And this is what he's doing with this movie, this Fast and Furious movie. So the bottom line is they're getting so much money from China that everybody has to bend over backwards.
China fronts the money.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
This is stuff. These are investments that China has, and China has been known to do all kinds of things like propaganda.
Yeah,
It's all about the optics, and like for example, they're trying to protect certain regions like Tibet or some places like in China where they don't want people to go.
right.
And they're in one of the movies, like where Batman was in some. He went up to some ice mountain.
That's the very first
Himalayas?
of the
You're talking about
reboot.
Tibet.
Yeah, something like
Tibet's
that.
not part of China, though.
Well, but
it
it's
was
in
something like
a,
that. My point is that they
It's
made
close.
they removed a lot of those. It was one of the movies they removed a lot of where there were Tibetan. What are they called?
Tibetan.
Tibet-Abidian.
Tibetan.
Monks and
Well,
They
that's,
removed
that's the
them.
whole thing about the
and
Dalai
they changed
Lama.
him to like
he's in
women.
exile.
You know, it was kind of like they made him change everything. China has so much control,
Yes.
and the cliche is, oh, it's all about propaganda. Well, it is.
So
They are all about propaganda.
So China has managed to work their way into lots of situations where their money is so powerful, and so I shouldn't even say powerful. Their money is so
Where do they
instrumental.
get their money?
Well, I mean, it all just comes from the government, right? They take it from the people and they give it to the government, and the government does what it wants with it. But here's my point. So all the mainstream media, right? You guys talking about being fronted by money, right? The mainstream media needs their money to stay afloat. Hollywood needs their money to stay afloat, right? And that's the truth.
The propaganda markets.
So they've worked their way into owning different things and having influence on certain things. They've infiltrated key areas of our country with their money, and now we're beholden to them. That's basically what's happening.
I imagine they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I think they are.
because there are
They're taking over everything.
some of the trends I've observed in my own neighborhood, and by means, this is not racist. These are observations. You have some Asian, because you know what? Maybe the others don't stand out. There very well could be some white folks that buy a property
Right.
while going to school or whatever, and then they don't sell the house. They rent it out and move to the next one.
Right.
That may be the American dream.
Well, a lot of people are doing
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
But I see a
Rental
trend.
properties, you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but the trend that I've seen in my own community and my conversations with some of these very nice folks that's exactly what their homeland had suggested they do. It's kind of like a career plan when they're in China and when they're coming over here. This is what you do. You will buy the house and then you use it as an investment.
Right.
That's basically what it is. They're all about buying property. They're buying it everywhere.
Well, I think I've told you this.
Even
that
downtown McKinney.
when I went to Vancouver about 5 years ago, when was the Women's World Cup? 5 or 6 years ago? Anyway, I was up in Vancouver. And I was up there, and we had a driver from the airport to our hotel. And it was a young guy, probably in his early 30s.
Okay.
And we were talking to him. We were driving through some nice neighborhoods. We were like, wow, how much are the houses here? You know, they weren't huge or anything like that.
No.
It was just nice. And he's like, yeah, these are $2, $3, $4 million
Right.
for a standard house.
For 18 square foot home.
18 square foot.
1,800.
And he's like,
It's a backyard.
and he said, he goes, yeah, he goes, most of the working
patio.
people in Vancouver cannot afford to live in Vancouver. So
Right.
we live a couple hours out.
Right.
And he said what happens is the moguls in China send their kids to school over here, and they will buy a house, and they move all of their money with their kids to get it out of China.
Right.
So they buy up all these properties, and they don't care what price they pay for it,
Right.
because they want their money out of China. So they're paying $3 million.
It's sort of
for
a way
home.
of laundering.
Yeah, so they're getting their
Well-
money out of communist China and
and
into
they're
Canada.
paying inflated prices, which is inflating the price of all real
Correct.
estate.
So it builds up their assets.
It does. So they're getting their money out of China, out of that control of the communist regime,
Right.
because they could probably come and take your money if they wanted.
Of course.
But they
And-
can't come to the United States to
No.
do that.
So once it's over here, it's over here. So they'll buy all these homes, and their kids will stay there as they're going to school, and then they have all their money, and then they'll sell it, and they'll have
Well, and
in
good for them.
Vancouver Canadian dollar.
Good for them, man. I'm it doesn't make me unhappy to hear that this is happening, because communism is horrible. And I feel bad for those folks that have to take that battle and try to get to the United States, and they should be very thankful that they have those opportunities. At the same time, excuse me, I just
You
farted.
just shit yourself.
At the same time,
Wow.
what really grinds my gears about some of these folks isn't the China folks or the Asian market, it's the rental properties in my neighborhood
Okay.
or anybody's neighborhood.
We put a cap on that.
Well, they should, but it's
did.
not. You did, but it's not a mandated thing. It's not something you have to do.
You
And
can
there
do
are-
that in the HOA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You can say there's only so many homes that can be
rental. Yes,
leased
correct.
And we passed that.
as a homeowner association.
Correct.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
because it's getting out
struggled.
of control.
We've struggled to
Yeah,
be
because
able
what
to get
happens is
that.
the neighborhood starts to fall apart because the people who rent in general don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rent and the people who own them half the time don't even live in the city.
That's right.
Well, my point by this whole thing is with the rental is that it really degrades the value of the property,
Yeah.
because most of the people that actually are renting, think about it. It's kind of like a college student.
Right.
Who the fuck cares?
That's what I'm saying. They don't do their yard. They don't. I mean, some do. Some care about
Yeah,
their space.
there are.
But
There
for the
are.
most part, they don't care. And so, yeah, everybody, your neighborhood just starts to look funky, right? It looks like shit.
Well, I don't think it feels like a true neighborhood either, right? So there's, you may have a rental here that's here for a year and they're on. And you have another family in there.
Yeah. It kind of breaks up, community, camaraderie.
Right. It's hard to build that up.
Can we stop for a second? I'm super excited about that IKEA wastebasket that we've put into the podcast room. It has a
It's
it has a
backboard.
17-inch diameter.
I didn't know it had been brought in here.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's got
Yeah.
a 17-inch diameter.
Did you miss?
No,
I heard
it
it
went
go
straight
bang.
in. It went ting, like a ting.
Well, that's exciting.
It was very exciting.
Okay.
I cannot wait till I finish my beer and toss it.
I'm going to toss mine full.
Oh,
I'm that excited.
Oh, you
Great
got one
thing.
right here in the hopper, ready to go.
Look at this. Oh, we're going to hear it.
Fucking 2 feet away and it misses.
Nice.
Did it really miss?
You
Yeah,
sure
you
did.
totally missed. You're a goddamn
Well, I wasn't even
loser.
looking.
It doesn't
I
matter.
did a no-look pass.
Did you play basketball?
I
Uh,
try.
Shit.
I'm the old man up there.
Yeah.
Man.
So how many folks are you getting a lot of inquiries for people wanting to buy your home?
No. No.
Is
Is that a bad thing?
Well, no, I don't think so, unless you want to sell. But Julie gets texts a couple times a week. I get texts and phone calls a couple
Oh,
times
yeah.
a week.
I guess I do.
I'll buy your home.
I tell them all to fuck off.
I've never had one.
And I asked Julie. I was like, "So, what's your? I'll sell today. What's the price?" She goes, $1 million. I was like, "All right, deal." We're close to that, but
Well, I'll tell you what, it's only going up and up and up and up
it is.
because PGA.
Because they want more taxes.
Well, PGA. Well, no, they're keeping the taxes low. Well, okay, you're talking about yes, but still, they're keeping they're keeping the taxes low in comparison to other cities, right? So anyway, but you're right. I mean, obviously, the assessed value you got to.
I don't
All right.
think being next to the Byron Nelson Craig's Ranch thing is doing much for us.
But about the PGA moving their headquarters here to Frisco,
Man, I just
dude.
I think
and,
it- I
they're
think-
building like 4 tournament level courses.
I don't.
I think we'll open up a rental market to where you could say, I'm going to rent my house for the week for $6
$4
grand
grand
or
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's going to open that kind of market. But is it going to make our value go up? I mean, we're still
Ooh, I wonder what
5
the
miles
rules
away
are.
from
Can
it.
you do bed and breakfast in your house? Like if I were to
No,
enclose,
you couldn't
No.
do it at bed and breakfast. You'd have to turn it. You have to turn into a company, and you'd have to be zoned for it. You'd have
why
to.
not?
You'd have to.
There are some B&Bs that are in a community.
Well, they need to be zoned correctly.
Well, I mean, like if I have a house in an HOA and I'm renting it, what does it matter if it's a
Well,
B&B?
no one's going to want to stay in your house as a B&B.
Why not?
They'd want to do it as an Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Well, what's the difference between Airbnb and a B&B?
Well,
B&B is you're living there with them, and
Yeah.
you're making them breakfasts and dinner.
Yeah,
and-
you live in the basement or the
Yeah.
attic or in some closet
Oh,
somewhere.
well, I'm talking like in my house specifically, I've got a garage and a house above the garage. I would just allocate like maybe above the garage and have their own bathroom and their own efficiency and kitchenette. It'd be all,
No,
like
that'd be an Airbnb.
yeah.
Well, no. But are you still living there in that scenario?
Yeah.
Then that's a bed and breakfast.
But there's no way I can enter that area unless I were to enter it through a main entrance. Like I wouldn't
I think
have
it's different. The B&Bs I've been to, it's usually a house and it's open.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
room is upstairs, and I have access to the rest of the house.
Yeah, usually they're in the basement.
Yeah.
Like the people who live there are like out of the way in the basement.
you have
you-
full range of the house
Yeah.
except for the other rooms that
Yeah,
people
your
are staying
scenario
in.
that you're describing is just some sort of creepy.
creepy.
It's some creepy arrangement.
Voyeur, you probably have holes in cameras.
Yeah,
and
you have
stuff.
cameras in that
No,
upstairs
that's,
garage.
that's not true.
Yeah, very very strange. I wanted to bring up.
A beer?
I
You
wanted
wanted to bring
up
up a beer to put in my koozie?
I can give you a beer.
What kind
That'd
of
be
beer
awesome.
can we bring over tonight?
I don't know. Did you bring?
PBR's nice. Is that because Total Wine was out of your?
Yeah, they're out of it. It's very disturbing. So I did talk to them, and they said, okay, they no longer are carrying the 30 packs of cans.
why
for
not? You would buy them out every week.
No, they haven't been there for a while now. So they said it's something to do with the distributor, and it had something to do with disruption in production. I don't know.
COVID.
And they said that I know COVID. They said what they could do is
It's
order
chip
me.
shortage.
They could order me bottles. So they're gonna
Right.
find out how many bottles they can order, and they're gonna contact me.
Like singles.
Yeah.
Like yes, single bottles.
Well, I'll tell you.
No.
So how do you feel
A
about
12-pack of
Pabst Blue
bottles.
Ribbon?
It's okay.
All right. So I'll tell you. I'll share with the folks.
It's your
My-
family beer.
My mother's maiden name is Pabst.
Really?
So her pappy,
Pappy
her
Pabst.
dad, the producer's great grandfather, died in a motorcycle accident after coming back from one of the world wars.
Probably two.
Probably. So he got back. He was in the Navy.
Great
and,
grandfather.
yeah.
Maybe.
Great grandfather?
The weird thing is that Pabst Blue Ribbon is
'Cause my dad was born in 42. So that's my son's grandfather. So it may have been World War One.
You're World War One.
yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. So Pabst. Pabst. Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. So look, there's how many people do you know ever in your entire life that his last name is Pabst?
I've known at least 18.
I have 14. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You know 18?
Yeah, but 32 right there.
32.
Yeah. So I know 14.
I've only known the folks that are part of my family up in Michigan, and it was Grandma Maxim and Pabst, and she
Brewed
So do you
beer.
think you have a claim to Pabst?
I would never take a claim to Pabst,
Like you could walk in there and go,
but I will be
You
like
homophobes.
bitches.
My great grandfather's named Peps.
But what I would say is, hey man, you and I have the same blood. You know, we're on a bloodline.
Are there any Pabst still involved in
I
Pabst?
don't know. But the fucking name
Shit, now.
Pabst.
We go with him because we can get some sort of like free tour or something.
Yeah,
and they're
off
like,
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you got your hoist right over here. Come on.
Get out of here, you punk.
You want a barrel? Fuck off. Get out of here. You and Hoffa.
Here, try this clear bourbon.
Clear. Anyways, I thought it's a very cool factoid
So a lot of Pabst from Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York,
Oh, look at that.
and California. Oh, you're in
What
California.
website are you on? Ancestry.com. Look at that.
Wow.
How many Pabst are there out there?
But the thing,
32.
but my point by saying
We know
this
them all.
is that I've never heard anybody. I'm not saying I have a claim. I'm not. I'm just saying my mom's maiden name is fucking Pabst.
It's a cool trivia thing, man. I like it.
You know, and
You know what
Pabst
their
is kind of
average
cool.
Pabst lifespan is?
What, a Pabst smear?
No, Pabst.
That's where they dump. That's where they
70.
dump beer on the crotch.
Wow.
All right, so what is the average
79.
Pabst lifespan? Between 49 and 2004 in the United States, Pabst life expectancy was lowest 1949 and as high as in 1998. The average life expectancy, I don't understand that. 49 was 48.
In
and-
1949, the average lifespan was 48 years old.
Wow.
Be dead.
Holy shit, we would all be dead already.
Yeah.
And in 2004, it was
1949?
79.
Was that because
Wow.
The war.
the war probably brought down the average lifespan?
had
It
to
had to. That's crazy.
Yeah. Natural causes. I think you'd have to separate natural causes
Versus
going
war
over there
deaths.
and getting
You know-
killed.
Yeah,
You know
there's
what's
no
interesting?
way. 48 way too
I
young.
have a book one of my relatives
I got a bunch
produced
of books.
that is about the Murphy line,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a genealogy book and how my mom's side from the other side of my mom, not the Pap side, but the other side.
The Milwaukee's best side.
The
Miller High Life line.
imagine that, it's funny. Hey, no, I'm just, so the one of the stories, and this is what you're talking about, is that the people died, like, in 1949, people died at what? I'm sorry, 19 whatever the fuck it
48,
said.
49.
Died at the age of 49.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy because even back then, in the story, they were like, "Oh yeah, my baby died because it grabbed the pot off the stove
Right.
and it scalded them to death."
right.
Now, how often does that happen nowadays?
How would it not happen just as frequently? Were
I don't
babies
know.
just different back then?
Well, no, I
Or
mean
were stoves lower?
No, I mean when people have catastrophic burns nowadays, they do skin grafts and they save them.
Yeah, but
Back then they couldn't save
my
them.
point by bringing that up is that there were a lot of
Could be.
violent stories in the book, and I know the spirit of the book wasn't to exploit the violence or the tragic of what happened, but it was more just to detail what happened.
Right.
And it's just kind of crazy because you
Right.
think
So you
about
hear all these stories about how people passed away back then
yeah.
that would never happen now.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So now it's like there's therapy. Oh, well, that's fine. We can replace this. We could do that. And there's like some that are kind of like, yeah, just euthanize it.
Right.
He was only
so
2.
wait a minute.
How attached could you be?
God.
Look at that average life. 22.
In 1942, that means all the fuckers died in war.
Yeah.
They all died in war. Seriously,
The
that's
average
crazy.
age was
Yeah.
22.
You're is that are you sure you're not from Poland? So
God.
the
Holy cow!
that,
Man,
mean,
you're
that,
ki-
mean, that means our boys are about dead.
You're kicking ass.
you're
22. I find that hard to
your
believe.
By the
elders
way,
would be
we
proud.
just-
So what about Paul's?
Yeah. What about mine?
Yeah.
What about
look for the
Paul?
Yeah.
look for Paul.
Mine is all going to be based on German.
So I
World
want
War
to say
II
your last
deaths.
name so bad.
You can't.
No I.
There's no I. Just the E. You're not
Yeah.
going to find much.
There
Oh.
it is right there, man.
Well, there you go. Butt raping ring.
What's
so
that?
you basically Pennsylvania and Missouri.
Yeah, because it's all Germany, dude.
Was that Missouri or no? That's Minnesota.
Oh, we're doing much better.
I think I win.
Wow. No.
I
Do
win.
you win or you lose?
I win. That's just because we're badasses.
Yeah, but you.
Hold on. Go
I
back.
don't
What was
think
the
that's a
earliest date?
win.
What was the 48 or 50 something? 52.
You have 2 years to live.
But okay, I don't know how accurate this is because apparently there was a name
It sounds to me
change.
like Paul's last name that they were pussies and they didn't do shit.
Yeah, we got
You
scared.
were the folks that were stuck a hand out that the Democrats were banging.
You know,
You were jerking off
the
Democrats,
reality
giving
is
you the mark.
they're all in Germany, and I have no idea what's going on over there in terms of my genealogy. It's
It's
all
being
Germany.
eradicated.
Well, they probably a ton of them died in the war. A ton, probably. I don't know. Shit, who knows? Have you guys ever given your DNA to website type of thing?
You know, it's funny you mention that. So I just
Negative.
purchased.
No way.
I don't want to
I
do it.
purchased about a month ago the DNA test, and I have it sitting. I have it sitting in my office.
Was it an anal swab?
Wow.
I don't think so.
But it could be.
It could be.
Is it a penile probe?
No, this one is. They want us. They want you to
Urethral
spit.
probe.
Urethral swab.
They want you to spit into the cup, but I don't ever think about it. They got
What?
this actually.
Like a lug?
So they've got this. They have this little. It looks like a little chemistry set you get, and you open a
Oh,
Ziploc
terrible.
bag, and everything's all sterile.
We might have to edit that
And
out.
they're kind of like, you got to spit in this little tube, and then you got to break a little. It's kind of like a glow stick. You got to break that little vessel inside of it, and then you shake it up, and then you seal it. You put it in this little container, and they're like, "Hey, do this, do that." You put it in the container, and you mail it to us. We'll tell you where the fuck it came from. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this little dude comes out, little Sylvester Stallone dude that comes out.
He
He's
does.
like, "Hey, how you
Stands there
doing?"
on the
He's like,
table.
"Hey."
Little hologram.
Little Italian
little-
stallion.
Yeah,
God.
little stallion.
You know, I'm worried about doing that simply because I don't want the government to have
Your DNA. So when you commit a crime,
well, you
no,
know,
no.
you
I'm
hear what's
very
happening.
interested.
You hear what's happening. People do this, and their uncle gets arrested for unsolved crimes.
really, because now you're on
And
record.
we
like,
found your sperm on
this-
Monica Lewinsky's dress.
this is a familiar DNA match to this crime.
100%. Yeah, have you not heard this?
no,
No,
I've heard
Oh,
this.
this has happened
Oh,
over
yeah.
and over and
This
over again.
happens a lot. Well,
They,
actually,
they
I don't know
go
if it's
in
a
there
lot,
and they do a DNA match and they find someone like you, and they go, okay, somewhere in
for
this
the record,
guy's,
he was looking at Jeff.
and then they start they start digging into the males of the family line.
Yeah,
And
they
and
track it
It's
down.
amazing.
They have these
Really?
indicators, and they're kind of like, all right, well, this came from this line of family and this blood, and they can totally track someone down in the family.
They totally do it.
It's amazing. It's like my uncle.
So Ancestor.com shares it with the government.
Yes.
Well, I
Is
imagine
that
they
in
all
their
do.
paperwork? It says we will share this with the government.
I think there's just a public API probably.
So here's the thing: I don't give a shit. It doesn't bug me. I don't have anything to hide. So if
Well, maybe your brother does.
yeah, what
well,
about your great grandfather Paps?
well, sounds like me, he shouldn't have stole the beer recipe from Milwaukee.
Hmm.
From
That's what I'm
Laverne and
saying.
Shirley. Shamil Shamazel. What was that
What?
beer company they worked for?
Old
Laverne and
Duels. I don't know.
Duels.
Hold on, what are you saying? In that show, they worked for a beer company?
Yes, a beer bottling company. Yes. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, they worked on the opening of Laverne and Shirley. They're
I don't think
sitting
I've
there.
ever even seen the damn show.
Is that during your blackout years of Thailand
Overseas, yes.
or
Yes.
Cambodia?
Cambodia. Yes.
The Shots. Shots. It was Shots Brewery
Shots Brewery. See?
Shots Brewery.
in the 50s in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They were bottle cappers.
Yeah.
Two friends and roommates work as bottle cappers in the fictitious Shots Brewery in the late 50s.
So, yeah, where does the
Well,
That's
yeah,
Milwaukee.
Carmine.
where's that come from?
Carmine-
Why are we doing that tonight?
Because Carmine, and then you had the dad, who was very Italian-esque.
Oh, boy, he was a
Oh, on
womanizer.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah. Then you had DeFazio. That was the dad.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the dad. Shots beer.
Look at the logo.
Looks like kind of phallic.
Yeah, little phallic.
What? Oh, totally phallic.
Yeah,
I was,
that's
I look at-
not.
but
cool.
basically, it looks like the top of an old school baby bottle with the nipple.
It looks like
with a penis head on it.
It looks like the shit emoji.
Yeah, basically.
Not really.
So Laverne and Shirley, they had. Let me see if I can pull up the cast of Laverne and Shirley.
That was
Is that where Alfred Fonzarelli came from? Where they
No.
spun off Happy Days, or was
yeah.
it?
They spun off of Happy Days. Laverne and Shirley did
Oh,
because
Laverne. It
was a double date.
spun off of Happy Days.
it was a double date between the girls with Fonzie and Richie.
So the series is a spin-off from Happy Days, as the two lead characters were originally
Really?
introduced on that series as
Yes.
acquaintances of Fonzie and Henry Winkler.
Yep.
They were two
That's
girls
crazy.
who date the Fleet, but for Family Hour they had to be changed and mellowed down to which, in Cindy Williams' opinion, gave the show more depth. Set in roughly the same time period, approximately 1958.
No
Mork
way.
and Mindy was also a Happy Days spinoff.
Mork
I
and
did
Mindy.
not know that.
Yes.
Nanu,
How?
Nanu.
Nanu.
Mork and Mindy. Mork is a alien.
Correct. He showed up on Happy Days.
How does that even make sense?
It's near the end, late 70s.
And they
Whatever.
just-
When did Mork and Mindy start?
That was a great show.
Yeah.
Who
So
was-
Boulder, Colorado.
who
Robin Williams.
and Pam Dauber.
Leave it to you.
Bring that up, Mork and Mindy, because who's the girl again? Who's the actress?
Pam Dauber.
Oh,
Mark
okay.
Harmon's wife.
See, that's not ringing a
Stupid.
bell with me, but I remember her being so freaking stinking cute.
She had very 70s-ish hair. Yeah, there she is.
She was so cute.
Mork and Mindy, American sitcom television series that aired on ABC from 78 until 82, 4 years. And it was a spin-off after a highly successful episode of Happy Days that starred Robin
ya.
Williams as Mork,
No
an
way.
extraterrestrial who comes to Earth from planet Ork in a small one Orkin. Remember the egg
Mork from
he
Mork.
would get in?
Oh, yeah.
And he would sit on the chair upside down.
So
And
what, was that his first start in TV?
I don't know. I don't know if he had anything before that, but that's his biggest one, at least.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah, he is dead.
Unfortunately, he was
Very
genius.
sad.
He
Sad
was
story.
genius. Yeah, I think I think they said he was getting dementia or some kind of dementia, and he was getting depressed, and he was like,
He was majorly depressed. He he had huge depression.
"Wow, 2014." I didn't realize it was that long ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah, so Mark and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, both from Happy Days.
I'm trying to find out what he did prior to Mork and Mindy. I know he did stand
He
up
was a
forever.
stand-up. I think he was stand-up. He was very,
Did a lot of blow.
he's very manic.
Yeah, he had like a lot of he had the high voices. I couldn't spit that out. He could sound like a little kid.
Yeah.
Man,
He was very all over the place. Like
Engaging,
it was almost like
you know?
it was almost like you were just so enamored with his performance, more than just like laughing at jokes. You were more just like your
he
eyes were
demanded your attention.
yeah, your eyes were big, and you were just going, "What?"
Well,
is
you never knew
going
what you're
on
going to
with
get.
this
I think he
guy?"
just winged everything.
he was.
I think
so,
he was on coke.
well, and I think even his later movies, like the one where he dresses up as the woman.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he was. So he a lot of his stuff was just improvisation.
That was good.
Yeah,
show.
that was. But I like some of his later stuff too, like the Night at the Museum. Excuse me.
He had a pretty
I apologize
he
for
had
that.
a pretty subdued role in that movie. He didn't have a lot of opportunities to like ad lib and
Well,
stuff.
he played a lot of good movies. I mean, I cannot.
I agree. I agree. he
Was
did.
it the GARP?
World According to Garb. I
The
watched
World
that.
According to GARP, and
I
then
never saw that one.
there was another one with Matt Damon. He played in.
Well, that was the Matt Damon one where he first got to start, where he was it was really
Well, he
smart.
was in school.
Oh,
Well, he was really smart, and he got into
Good Will
Harvard.
Hunting.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
he was all right. Anyway, very talented guy. That was a big loss. I didn't realize it was already 7 years ago. But
Well, since we're kind of, man, he was in a lot of stuff.
Good Morning Vietnam.
That was
Yeah.
a good one.
Good
That was a
Morning
really good
Vietnam.
one.
That was it. Well, and he was also in Tootsie. No,
No,
that was-
Dustin
No.
Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
that was
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that because I said the same thing. I was thinking the same thing at Tootsie, but
very
he was
similar
not.
role.
He was in 8 is Enough.
I don't remember that.
Apparently. But speaking of, oh yeah, he was in that Popeye. I saw that movie. It was terrible.
Oh, Popeye.
was terrible because
Yeah.
as a kid I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be like cartoony and great, and it was not.
It was very weird.
It was strange.
It was
and
like
kinda depressing.
human claymation. You know, he had that winky eye that was like always stayed winked.
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
the big arms they made up and everything, but
and he and Brutus would fight.
yeah, I was expecting more cartoon. When did that come out? 80. So I was
I can't do it.
11. So I was 11. So I was like, all right, it hasn't been too long since I used to watch the Popeye cartoons, and it was nowhere close.
Yeah.
There was a big octopus in it, I think, or a squid.
Well, you know what we didn't see on there was Aladdin. Believe it or not,
Yeah, there he is.
look at that. We're watching the him being a
Trailer.
Popeye. We can't hear it though. So he's like jumping. He's got these big forearms, and
Oh, it's creepy.
there you go. He's in a fighting.
That's super creepy.
Yeah, look, he had that winky eye. That was the hard part. I couldn't get over. It was a kids show. It was, you know what? What I call it? I call it a Saturday matinee movie. And these
But it
were the
was not
types of
good.
movies.
But it was not good.
It doesn't matter. As a
wasn't
kid, you'd go to the Saturday matinee. See, nowadays
All
this
right.
is what the kids don't get nowadays. You know, when you get over diluted with things like streaming videos and music, and you get everything that comes to you with no effort at all, you're kind of like, yeah, you're fucking spoiled.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
The bar
Back
is,
then,
the
it
bar
was
is
kind of
pretty
like
high.
You
back
look
then,
forward to going.
it was
to
like, hey
things.
man, look, on Saturdays, my dad's gonna give me 50 cents
Right.
and maybe $1,
For
and I'm gonna go
popcorn.
to the movies, and it's gonna allow me to get like those entry. I can go watch the movie. I get a bag of popcorn,
And maybe Raisinets
a pop, and
or
what were
snow
the
caps.
what were the
Wow,
candies that they had? Jolly Ranchers, and back then they didn't have Jolly Ranchers that were the small ones. They
Yeah.
had the bars, the Jolly Rancher bars.
Mhm.
They were about 4 inches wide and about an inch,
Yeah,
4 by 8.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
big
and real-
rectangle.
and real skinny.
Yeah, and you would
Suck
yeah,
on it.
thin.
Yeah,
They were thin.
they
And-
turned the blades.
Oh yeah, you sit there and you
did.
suck
You
on them,
could-
and they
they
would
could
turn to
literally cut your
blades,
tongue.
and they would take forever to eat.
You'd
and-
slice your tongue off.
That is, I remember that. I only did it like once, but yeah, you can totally cut your tongue on that shit.
Yeah.
I remember stabbing my brother with it once. So they're not actually showing that on their producer. You got to type in maybe bar. It was a
So-
Jolly Rancher, but it was like in a bar form. And I remember they had all kinds of flavors, like they currently do now.
Yeah.
Like cinnamon was the favorite one. That's what I would get.
Yes.
So I'd get like a
Yeah,
Coke.
there it is, right there.
Yeah. There you go. Do you think they still sell them like
I
that?
think they were bigger back then.
I don't know. That's not it, but it's
one on the
it's
far left.
about the closest
left
as that
top.
we can see.
Or the far right. The far right one looked like it was that one there.
Yeah, that's about as close. You know what? I think that's
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
I think that's
Cinnamon.
pretty close. Did you what?
That was cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
You did that. You
Yeah.
did that.
He did that. He has a lisp.
You
Yes.
did that.
Yes.
He does.
All right. So,
Yeah, the
anyways,
Anyway.
Wappas.
Anyway,
okay.
you were talking about going to the movies.
So, talk about going to the. So let me share with you.
Oh.
I got a story,
Oh,
and we got
God.
time for the story
Here we
because
go.
and this is a big one. All right.
He
And
poked a
because I'm
hole in the
gonna-
bottom of the popcorn so his date would reach in and grab his wee wee.
Is that what happened?
Go on.
No, this is your story.
But you and I were there together, so
And there was no girlfriend.
I don't recall doing that.
I saw Paul do it to you.
However,
Whatever. You know what? Anything
right,
could have
no.
happened after the damn
right,
time
so-
we went to the movies.
shut the fuck up. So
I don't
here-
remember fucking anything.
Here we are. So we live in. Let me get the setting straight. So we live on base, military. I'm a military brat. This was in I want to say the early 80s, like 81, 82. All right. Then we are in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. We live on Goslin Avenue. It's now a city. I mean, it's now the fort sold it, so it's now open to the public. So we had right up the street a movie theater. Now it wasn't a movie theater; it was more of a theater that with a big screen. But they had ceremonies there. They had awards ceremonies.
Did it have
They had-
auditorium seating?
They had auditorium seating. It was
Did they have auditorium seating?
Man, it was a
What the
very
hell's wrong with you?
elegant.
What?
It was a very elegant military
Okay.
theater,
All right.
and they had all the things that theaters have, like for like plays and stuff. So when I'm saying that, I'm trying to tell you
5.1
that
surround sound.
I don't know about that, but they had like where the grips walk up there, where they have the lighting.
THX.
There's stage. They didn't have that back then. They
Oh,
had stage
sorry.
lighting,
That was
and
Star
so
Wars.
where when the folks when they have anytime they have like a theater production, there are people that have to watch it from a different perspective, and they're directing.
Like 3D.
What?
You said different perspective.
You're
Well,
losing,
no, they're-
you're
they're-
totally
they have-
losing us on this story.
Well, it's because I'm having to stop so many times.
no, it's because
You
you're going
could-
into crazy detail that doesn't make any sense.
Well, so at the very top on the roof where the grips are hanging out, there
Ah.
is a seating area
Okay.
that is kind of like a cockpit, and you sit in this little room. And it's right in the center of the theater,
Okay.
way up above, and it's got like it has theater seating up there
In a room or
in a room above the
enclosed,
theater,
an enclosed room.
enclosed room.
Was
in
it
order,
rumble seats? Where they
in
move
order
with
to
the
you'd
movie?
have to climb up a ladder to get up into the areas, and then you get in a catwalk and walk all the way down there. Anyways, when there was a time when we lived on that base, my parents were working there. My mom worked in concession, and my dad would show the theater. He would run the films.
He'd run it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was up there, and for like a short period of time, like maybe a summer or something. So it turned into a family thing, and my mom was working the concession, and man, I tell you what, I had her keys one time, and I went in there and I took a box of 36 Snickers.
Oh,
Now-
you bought the big box that
Well,
they break open to like break it out into the case.
Yeah. So, what had happened is that a rat or a mouse ate like a section of the box.
So you had to throw away the whole
So
thing.
they had to throw the whole box. So it was in that
But
when
you
I
really
was like,
don't. The rest of them are still sealed and everything.
well, that's what I'm saying. But they discarded it anyways. And so I took the remainder of them. And we
Yeah,
had
the
like 30
trash.
candy bars. It was me and two other guys, and we went upstairs to that room I was trying to explain to you. And there is an
the
afternoon
3D
showing.
rumble seats.
There we go.
So look, man, when it's in the middle of summer and you have back door, because you got to imagine when you open up, there's a back door entrance to the theater, so you can open up and there's like a stage, where people get ready, put makeup rooms and stuff like
Correct.
that back
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Behind the
So-
screen.
We could go into the back door, go into the main area, climb up the rafters, unbeknownst to anybody.
right.
So nobody knows there. So any show could be shown. We watched all the rated R movies,
Nice.
so we went up there anytime we wanted to.
So you saw Jaws.
I don't remember any of the movies that we actually saw because I was
Kramer
too
versus
hyped up on
Kramer.
Snickers
see-
bars.
Death
But I'll
Wish.
tell you what, for a very long time, I could not eat Snickers. But
Did you eat the whole damn box?
no, of course not. But we ate a lot of it. I ate enough of the Snickers to not eat sweets for years.
Wow, that's a lot.
It was.
Wow.
Did you shit peanuts?
I don't recall the shitting. I do recall.
Isn't chocolate a natural laxative?
Yeah. I do recall this
I
one.
don't know.
I think coconut is.
There's no coconut in.
There's coconut in old Williamsburg, and it is a laxative.
supposedly.
It is a laxative. I shit all night. I never tasted the coconut, but damn, it was in there.
Well, I'll tell you what. As
That's a pretty cool experience, though. Something
it
you
really
remember,
That
was.
is cool because it's like your own little hideout,
you
your own
guys
little
have
fort.
no idea. It is like a fort.
Yeah, it's
And
super cool.
we were there. We were there during
Is
coconut water. Yeah, the Mr. Producer has so happily put this on there.
yes, coconut
yes,
water.
coconut water is a natural laxative. So if you can't shit, ladies and gentlemen, drink coconut water. You'll be fine. This is brought to you by Coconut Is Us.
So you got to imagine it was like for an entire summer. And I didn't have. I had a lot of friends, but there was like a select few. It's kind of like
hear
the
a
boys.
brag right there.
You
I have
know,
a lot of friends.
Oh yeah, yeah.
was it? No.
Sure
Well, my
was.
point is
I had two.
It
God,
was-
I remember. I was so popular.
well
Oh,
in military housing.
They carried me around. They loved
You
me so much.
carried you around.
They had big fig leaves there to
They
fanning
had
me all the
Oh,
time.
like
Yeah,
a dependent
feeding me
youth
grapes.
activity center, and the military soldiers' kids, because you got to imagine they're stationed all over the world, and then they get stationed in a fort. They get planted somewhere. What do they call it? Just
Deported.
transplanted. Kids get transplanted from one school system to
course.
another, and so you learn after a while to try to most of those kids learn how to adapt and get to know other kids, and you did that at what they call the dependent youth activity centers, and these are located on all bases, and so that's where the kids hung out, and you got to meet a lot of kids. And it was like being in the schoolyard. They had pool tables.
Yeah. Having my experience growing up overseas, it was pretty much the same way.
It was the only place to go.
Everybody transferred all the time, like in the middle of the school year, right? Their father got transferred, and whoop, they just disappeared. You're like, they'd be your best friend, and they'd be like, "Hey, we're leaving next week." You what?
Yeah,
like that kind of shit happened all the time.
No, it was completely different.
Sad.
My experience is wholly different than your guys. I went to school from kindergarten to 12th grade with the same people.
Yeah.
All the way through.
See, and that's the experience
that's
I got
good
when I came
and
back.
bad.
I came back from overseas to that situation as a freshman in high school. And they're all looking at me like I have, three eyes, They're like, who is this kid, right?
Right.
But overseas, somebody got dropped in, and it was like, I equate it to like Toy Story. Remember when they had those little toys? Like
they'd come up to you and go, "Who's this person?"
And a little
they'd
claw
be like,
machine.
Yeah, they what
Be my friend. Be my friend.
Yeah, they'd all crowd around you. They'd be like, What were those guys called in Toy Story?
I don't.
What did they say? Remember? The claw.
Zumba.
Yeah, the claw.
The claw is like tattoo from
That's
the Mad
little-
Fantasy Island.
That's a little alien.
Yeah, the little
thing from-
alien squeaky toys
the
in the
claw
claw
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically how the kids were. They were like,
The claw.
that claw.
Ribbit.
And you'd be like, okay, what's going on? Why all these kids all around me? I mean, they were, you know why? Because and what a different environment. That's what you had to do. Like
you did things
you
that
didn't have time to
made
jack
sense
around.
to you.
You didn't know how long you were going to have
I
friends.
think that it made people. I think it made military dependents, the kids, more independent than the average child, because you had to figure it out. I mean, because you don't do anything, and when you don't have a computer, you don't have games, you don't have the Atari 2600, you don't have nothing.
But my point is, it made kids more tolerant of each other.
Yes,
I mean,
and we
they
did
were open.
things.
They were open-minded
We
and
went
open-armed,
camping.
and they were like, hey, they wanted to get to know you, and it was
because they
cool.
also had like these rental stations. You could you can rent like anything on a base. You can go and rent like tents. We rented all kinds of stuff, and it was the things that you can rent for like. I'm just making this like $1, not even $1. You can rent a what is a double-seater bike?
A double-seater bike.
No, but they call it something else.
I've never heard the name of it.
Well, they have a double-seater bike that you can rent. It's like $1 a day.
Right.
And we would rent it for like a week. And I remember we would get that damn bike so fast, hauling up and down the street.
Oh, that's where that might be the story that fed your son and Jeff's son into thinking that their double-seater
tandem bikes.
They thought their tandem bike could go super fast because you shared that story.
I did, and they do.
And
but they got a bum
wanted.
one. They got a bum one.
That's why they were so disappointed.
I think all of them were like that. Because on that street, there's no way you want to be going 50 miles an hour on a tandem bike.
Well, think of it as something that's a blessing that we didn't have to deal with that.
Well, I know. It would have been.
They would have fucking hit broadside of the car.
Edge.
Well, there's people
Into the
walking.
lake.
Well, there's people walking all over the place for one thing. You can't be on the sidewalk going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, because everybody who's riding bikes and walking are all on the same.
They are.
Yeah,
It's the same.
You know how I
path.
know that is because I got on my bike, my Nordic track bike,
Oh yeah.
and I did Tahoe.
State line.
I did Lake Tahoe.
Oh yeah.
They had a pre-recorded thing where you follow the leader. You follow the guide or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
And if that's what it looked like. It was people carrying coolers and walking on the right hand side, and they'd be like, "On the left, I'm on the left." I mean, there were a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
In the video.
Yeah, well,
that I
that's what
watched.
it's like every time I've been, because it's outdoors, right? I mean,
Right.
all the activities are outdoors.
Right.
They have casinos as well, but most of it's outdoors, and you're walking to the lake, from the lake, to the stores, shopping. that sort of thing. So yeah,
Did you guys do any of the casinos while you're there? Did anybody go?
no, I've been to the casinos there, but no, we didn't this last time.
Are you into casinos at all?
No, no.
Yeah, because we've never done that. We've never gone to.
I'd go.
Like,
I'd go up to Choctaw. Julie and I have gone,
really.
but we go
That'd
up
be
there.
a fun trip.
We go up
just-
there and say each of us have $100. When it's gone, it's done.
right, which is about 8 minutes.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah,
Right.
fast. So if it's gone, it could be a quick trip. And we're just like,
And then what do? You just drive back?
You're just like, all right, let's walk around and have a drink, and then we'll come back.
A $90 drink and then head back.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes that fast, which it can,
It can. It
Yeah.
totally can.
and
But then there are other times, man. I can make roulette last a long time, even though I guaranteed to lose. But I can make it last a long time. And craps, I can play that a long time.
I don't understand craps. I've never played.
Oh, it's
I've
great.
tried to watch it, and I don't understand it.
You know what? I would love to explain it to you because it's a lot of fun. And there's so many games within the game that if you want to get super complicated with it, but you don't have to. You can play one game, which is pass, don't pass, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Come, don't come. I mean, there's so many. It's so easy.
Yeah, I don't understand the game, and I'm sure there's videos online I could watch as well. But I've never played it. I've played roulette. I played blackjack. Obviously the slots, but I don't play the pokers or anything like that. I don't know it well enough to do
Right.
that.
Yeah, no. Blackjack to me is, I hate to say this, but it's intimidating because I know how to play blackjack, but, there are people, I just want to have fun. And there's people at the table that, like, I don't want to say they're counting the cards, but
They
if
take
I
the
were,
shit too
if
serious.
if I hit or pass, people at the table get mad because you're not supposed to pass on that, and that affects everybody else's
Right.
cards and stupid bullshit like that. And I'm like, you know what?
Well, there's certain moves you're supposed to make when you have certain cards. There's
That's
certain
right.
moves you're supposed to make.
Yes, and I understand that,
Right.
and I understand the basics of it and all that kind of stuff. When you're supposed to hit and not hit, but I just
Yeah, but that's not true for everybody.
no. You
so-
can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And I don't have that ability. I'm always way hypersensitive about what other like.
Who gives a shit about
I
that?
know, but
No.
that's and oh my.
There are
wife,
some
my wife
times
gets
where-
so mad at me.
Because you're supposed to stay at 17,
Right.
and so anything up to 17 you're supposed to hit on.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I don't think that's true.
Then you
is
could
it
split.
15?
Then you could split, right?
No, 17 you're supposed to stop, but there's like you're never supposed to hit on anything over 17. You can hit
Oh
on
God, no.
but you can hit on 15 or 16.
You can, but I.
Well, look, I'm just saying that there's a little black
no,
jack
you're-
cheat
you're
sheet,
Absolutely
and
right.
they're kind of like that's what they say. Now, if you get like you can get something where you get put in a scenario where you can do a split, and I don't know what it's when you get two of the same.
Two of the same, like 2 10s or something.
Yeah,
like
then
that.
you could
10.
split them, and then you throw another
chip down.
one chip or.
Well, you equal your bet, right? Isn't it? So if you bet
Oh, okay.
$10,
So you could double down your
then you
quantity
double
by
down.
splitting it.
so you play
And
two
I think
hands.
that's cool.
Yeah, you're playing two hands against a dealer. Yeah,
Right.
I think that's kind of fun.
it is fun.
So there's not much. There's
But-
a little bit of science to it,
But I'm not good enough at it, and I don't want to go up to a table where it says $30 minimum hand.
No.
I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
You know.
well,
wouldn't
I
do
would
that.
like to get
Make
to
it
the
like
point where I can try to count the
$5.
cards.
Yeah.
But the thing about them counting the cards is how many decks are in there.
Like 6.
So, but
People do it.
and I feel like I can get. How hard is it to count certain cards?
In a 6-deck shoot?
Well, I mean,
What are you, Rain
It's
Man?
extremely hard.
no, I don't think it's that hard.
All
I
right,
mean,
we're getting 6 decks, and he's going to count the cards.
Yeah, you are.
Or what card's next?
Yeah.
Well, no. I'm not insinuating that. It's not a matter of what card's next. It's the probability of what the next card could be.
Right. Based
So-
on what you know you've
Yeah,
already counted
I
is
know.
gone.
I know that 7 aces have gone. I know that 3 queens have gone. I know that 2 tens. That's what they're talking about with counting cards,
Yes.
and it's about the probability of a card populating.
But
Right.
there's people that are so good at it, they can win every single time.
That I
not
don't know.
every time, but they can
Every single time.
dramatically increase their odds. Yes.
Right. Then it's illegal. If they catch you doing it, I don't know if it's illegal, but it's against rules.
Well, it is. They kick
House
you
rules.
out.
They kick you out. They ban your ass.
It's got to be a way to cheat. I bet it's got to be hard with earbuds and all the latest technology.
Oh, those casinos have high-end technology. They're on the cutting edge of that
Yeah.
shit.
It's like better than the Defense Department.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And plus, they got like Jimmy the Fish that'll pull you in the back and whip out a skill saw and
No
want to
shit.
chop off your freaking
Yes.
nutsack, you know?
Yeah.
There's so
That's-
many cameras in
That's
there.
true too.
So many cameras.
You know, I wonder how much of that is true. I mean, is it? Oh, wow, that was abrupt.
He's like, I wonder if shut the hell up.
And I don't know if you guys are going to hear that
What?
when we do the actual show, but the music just came on. It was like
And it was loud
extremely
too.
loud.
Yeah.
Producer, did you hear that, or was that just?
Yeah.
Did you mean to do that?
No,
Wow,
that's
It
a
is
big
time,
no.
so we probably do need the
That's
music.
what happens when you.
Yeah, we
need a-
probably do need.
Well, the producer said it's not time.
10 minutes. All right. So finish your Vegas story.
Well, I've never been to Vegas, so
So I've been to Vegas a few
You've
times.
never been to Vegas?
I have never been to Vegas.
You know what? We should.
Oh, wow.
It's inexpensive to get out there.
It is not. That used to be the case.
Oh, it used to be. It's not anymore.
Oh, it used to be you could fly out there cheap. You could get out there and get hotels for cheap and eat for cheap because they wanted all your money to pour into the casinos. Not true at all.
What changed?
I don't know.
People don't bet as much.
Everything became expensive, and we were like, bullshit. It's not. Nothing's cheap. They used to say, "Oh, you can buy a $5 all you can eat, steak and shrimp buffet
Right.
and get off."
Well,
the
there
strip
are
and
some
this,
deals
that."
out there. You
I
just got
guess
to know
so.
where they're at.
You know what? They probably are, but
So the thing is, it's just a long weekend. You don't want to go out there for a week. It's like 2 to
No.
3 days, and you're done, and you come back.
So I would need like
Like a
a
long weekend.
3 or 4 day weekend.
I don't even know if it needs to be that long, unless you want to go to
No,
Hoover
we-
Dam or something like that.
I would want 2 nights out there. I want 3 days, 2 nights.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
piece of cake.
And
Fly
you're-
out
and
there.
you're
We would
done.
fly out there Friday morning,
Come back Sunday.
Yeah.
and I would do it. I like gambling. I think it's kind of fun. Now it does get old, but it is fun.
I do it. There's a lot,
I'm-
lot to see out there.
Yeah, I would like to go to a lot of the shows, you know.
Those get pricey.
Oh, they're pricey. That's what I'm saying. Everything there is pricey.
Yeah, the shows are pricey.
Well, I mean, it comes to a point where you're like, fuck it. I don't care.
We were bar hopping. I was with my father-in-law and my brother-in-laws, and we went out there for a golfing trip. And we started bar hopping along the strip, and just getting a drink in every bar,
And
every casino. We hit a bar, got a drink, kept moving on.
And you can walk down the street, open container.
Yes, and
Really?
Oh yeah.
these glasses were not like think of a solo cup, a mini solo cup, right? The small ones, right? $17.
Yeah.
$17 drinks.
Yeah.
And if you get caught sneaking alcohol in, they probably castrate you.
I'm sure they're.
Well, no, you can't bring it into the casino, but you can walk around in like the promenade areas and.
But what about? I thought you're supposed to get free drinks when you're in the casino.
Oh, when you're gambling,
if you're
yeah.
gambling, and if you can get a waiter or waitress
Yeah, most
See,
of the
that's-
time.
to serve you.
So we went to like
Yeah, most of the
whack off. What is it? Choctaw.
Choctaw.
You have to
Whack
buy
off.
your.
Whack the hats
there's
off.
no free drinks there.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
There should be. There
In
should
Vegas,
be.
it's
there
kind
are.
of bullshit.
in Vegas, there are, but you have to be at a place long enough for them to see you and say, "What do you want?" You say,
Right.
"I want a Jack and Coke." They'll go get it, and
Yeah,
a few
but-
minutes later,
No,
you're back.
more than a few minutes.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's not like
And they're small little glasses.
and you're not going to get drunk off of free drinks. I can tell you
No,
that.
you're not.
But it'd be interesting.
It'd be a fun weekend.
Yeah,
sure.
Just a weekend. I'm done with it after a couple days because it is always on.
Yes, always on.
Always on. There's no break unless you go back to your room.
Yeah, I would be interested in the pool program.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like a cabana.
More like in the pool, and you go up to the
Swim-
bar
swim
in the
up
pool.
bar.
Yeah,
Swim up bar.
yeah. They
And
need
you-
a
and
swim
you
up
get your-
urinal.
And you get your tiny $17
That's just
drink.
being in the pool.
Well, I mean, if you had a swim up urinal, you could like
That's what I mean.
swim
You're in the
up to the
pool.
The
urinal.
whole pool is a swim
Yeah,
up
you
urinal.
you're in the
no,
pool.
but like that's kind of gross. Okay.
Well, what do you think a swim up urinal
Well,
is?
I'm trying to explain.
A toilet under the
you
water?
you go
it's
into
not going to make it into it.
you go into this one little section of the pool where there are a lot of air or water
Jets.
circulators
Yeah, yeah.
that will suck the water out right there.
So you take a shit
So you
right
stand
there
right.
and there.
I didn't say shit.
Oh,
You want to defecate?
You want to
You know,
shit
you wanna
in
go
the
somewhere
pool.
else.
Defecation
I-
area.
I'm talking like, where you pee. Like if you're going to pee in this area because the current goes that way, you're at the low end, and you pee
Yeah.
there, and it gets taken out,
yeah. That's exactly
processed.
how kids' arms get torn off
pressed.
Yeah.
because they swim into that area
Well,
and then
then
it
it-
sucks out their
it's
arm.
like,
You know what?
arm
turbines.
off.
It's the no kid zone.
Turbine.
Just
In fact,
it's
it
not
would.
grinding up
it would-
whatever it.
That's the
sucks
best
into
place to
the-
put the kids, anyways.
my God,
Don't
he's going
have
towards the
the
fan.
orifices
big
too big.
whirlpool.
Just have a bunch of small ones.
You see
And
kids
so
suck
that-
to the bottom.
You want the kids on that end of the pool, anyways. Because that's where they're all fucking peeing. They have no respect. They have no couth. They're
It'd
just
be
going to
too
let it go.
dangerous. It'd be too dangerous. You're going to have some kid down there and he's going to get suctioned.
Is this bourbon kicking in, or we all seem to be a little wired?
No, I'm just saying. I would really like.
He wants a built-in pool urinal.
I want to.
That's a little odd.
Yeah. I don't think it would work.
How about like a? I think it would work.
I don't think it would work.
I think they would have like how they have
Because
those
you'd
vacuum
have to
cleaners.
suck.
This is
You have to suck
retarded.
so much water out.
You're wanting to design a section of your pool that you can pee into, and it quickly sucks it out of there and doesn't make your pool yellow.
Kind of.
It would
So
pull
That's
you
the-
with it.
That's the
Let's-
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No. I mean, I'm not talking about. Look, so you ever have those vacuum cleaners? You got a hose, okay? You got a little vacuum. And at the very end, you can put a nozzle on there. It's like
Well, now we're
A
sticking
triangle.
Now we're sticking our penis
so you've
in
got
the
this.
hose.
So you've got
So
this.
it's like
You're wearing your
stretching it?
swim. You've got your swim trunks, okay? You got your swim trunks.
Sean's out there
and you
with
got
the
this
hose in his penis
nozzle.
again.
That is about the size of a jock strap, so to speak. A cup.
Oh my god!
So you basically you put this thing on the outside of your clothes.
no,
Mind you,
No.
on the outside of the clothes.
This
and
is
you-
after a 800-pound Namu just shoved it up his crotch and urinated all over it. Now you're going to grab it and stick it on your junk?
All right. Well,
on your junk.
you have a valid point. So
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not using it.
This ranks up there with the mask on the butt of a cow idea.
that wasn't my idea.
That was a good idea.
I think that was your idea
capture the
actually.
gas.
That was
Yeah,
not
the
my
methane
idea.
gas.
It would capture
Yeah, this-
shrapnel. That's about it.
This is why we're doing a podcast that nobody's sponsoring
No,
because
I
we,
think capturing
our
the cow
ideas
gas,
suck.
it could be the next biofuel.
We're not the next Elon
Dude,
Musk.
I would love to be able to not have to get out of a pool to.
Well, you don't have
to
to.
urinate.
You don't
No,
have to.
Yeah, but nobody wants to sit in other people's pee.
Well, then why not have one of
They
those
just don't
bags?
mention it.
Isn't there
A
bag you
colostomy
can?
bag from
Yeah.
your urine. What do they call that?
What do you think the astronauts do? Don't they
urinate
just
on
kind of
themselves? Yeah,
they have like
No.
a bag and they pee into the bag and then they
and it
Well,
circulates around.
What is
their
that when they
body.
stick the tube up your
it doesn't
ding ding?
circle around in
That's
the
a
body.
It's a catheter.
They connect it to a tube
No.
and it gets sent out into space.
Yeah. I don't
do
get
all
to
the
stick a
urine?
catheter
Do all
in.
the astronauts? Do they wear catheters,
No.
No.
or do they have like suction tubes?
There's
that-
a suction tube.
I think they have suction tubes.
I think everyone has their own suction tube.
What
I'm
about
not
the women?
sure.
It's not a like community
It's the same
suction
thing.
tube.
It's the
Freakishly.
same exact thing. They don't have
Yeah.
a women and a female.
No.
I mean,
A woman and a female.
yeah.
Wow, that was
Do
odd.
they have a transgender and a female and a male
All right.
connection?
That concludes our show for the first half. Thank you for the Rumble single barrel that pushed us all over the edge.
Yes.
Kind of did.
This
We
is-
need another one of that.
Next up
Yeah.
is should be another interesting one.
Yeah.
All right,
Get ready for 14.2.
we'll be back.
Brain fog.